Right, so today I've taken delivery of my ECU chip from AJ6 Engineering. This is what you get. You get the chip. There's some writing on there, it's probably very important, and some instructions which I've read through and we will do now. So we need to take the ECU out, which is in the 6 litre V12 coupe anyway, is in there. So first of all we need to kill the battery. That's connected to the negative, by the way. Very handy, otherwise you'd have to take this off and take your negative off. So with that off, here's your ECU. So remove it, we need to push this pin out, which releases this side, and then it's hooked on here. So we just remove that, and then we have 2 bolts to undo. Go get the tools for that. They are 7/16. And there's a vacuum hose on here somewhere. Hopefully we'll see it in a second. There we go. Okay, so once it's loose here, you've got this vacuum tube to pull off. I've just had about a half-hour fight with it. Wasn't sure if it came off, so I opened the unit up just to check I wasn't pulling something that I shouldn't be, but I'm not. It just needs a bit of firm persuasion and it will pop off, and you're left with that. So there is no harm in pulling it off. Worst case scenario, the hose snaps and you'll have to replace the vacuum hose, but it's not going to do that any damage. So we'll take that in the house and sort out the chip. Right, so when I was checking whether I could just pull that vacuum hose off, I had this open, so I've already removed my 2 protective caps to get a pair of pliers on there and just pinch it to get that off. I'll be throwing that bit away, and then you're just left with another 5 bolts to pull out. What size are they? 7/32. So inside we have this, and to remove any risk of static, although I've just rubbed it all over the boot carpet of my boot, we're supposed to touch this and something like a radiator. I am touching the radiator, but you can't see my hand. Anyway, and then we need to probably get a little screwdriver just to open up the chip holder. Right, so I'm going to carefully open up this little box here that says Lucas on it. I have no idea how to open that. Let's figure that. I've just tried this off camera, and the only way I could figure out to do it was by gently levering here until it flicks off. It's not ideal, but not going to do it now, is it? There we go. Okay, so here's the standard chip and the AJ6 Engineering chip, and as Roger says on the instructions, it's quite obvious which way around it goes. You want that little notch in the same direction. So I'm going to try and gently lever this out as by the instructions. Not like that. There we go. So I just gently rested it there on the vacuum pipe inlet. Okay, so now we'll just stick the protective cover back on. Okay, so back at the car, put all the bolts back on. Obviously we don't have the protective covers anymore, but we need to pop in this vacuum hose. Okay, and now we're just going to feed it back in. Up there it sits on in a sort of reset, a little bend of metal, and then back on these two bolts. There we go, so I've got that sat in. It's not lifting up at the top. I have actually put the lid and the bottom back the other way around, so instead of having screw heads at the top, I've got the bottom of the bolts. It's not going to make any difference. Okay, made sure my vacuum hose actually is clipped on there like it should be. Not sure if I pulled that off while I was doing it or whether it was never on there. And then we just need to hook the end of the plug on like that. Gently wheel it on until it clicks. There we go. That's all done. We can stick our bit of carpet back in. That back around along there. That goes in like that. And these bits never actually go back where they're supposed to be. You have to kind of bend that out when it's out for it to actually sit in like that, but that's not too bad. So let's first off, let's give it some battery again. All good so far. Nothing made a fizz or a bang. I'll just go down and seem to have ignition.